check. Okay, there we go.
Good morning. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. It's May. Don't know how that happened, but it is May. As you see, Larry is on the keys today. Paula is on a much-needed vacation. We're sending you love and wonderful vacation thoughts, Paula. And Jesse's back. We have a wonderful talk today, and we're going to sing about how we're all welcome here. Are you ready? Are you sure? All right, here we go. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. All souls are welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Come on. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Well, good morning, Rev. Good morning, everyone. All the souls that are here today.
Good morning, Reverend James, and good morning, everyone. We greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is sacred, and all that is holy, and in the warm and loving energy of this community Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all those who worship in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We know that every single one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're just excited to be together today. And of course, we're equally excited, or possibly even more, when you silence your electronic devices. And also, please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, at this moment, let us connect to the presence. For we have a clearing right now because we remove any obstacles that may be getting in the way of that realization that the Spirit and I and all of us are one. And this presence contains all the qualities we could ever hope for, want, or desire. First of all, the divine love that it is, and we are. And this is the principle that binds everything together. And then we have all of his offspring of peace and joy and wisdom and health and vitality and vigor and divine and compelling right action. We make all of that the activity of our awareness so that we can say without a doubt, when you see me, you see the presence that sent us. So this morning we remind one another of the truth of who and what we are, regardless of what we may be going through or growing through. At bottom, we are all expressions of the divine. So we're grateful and thankful for this opportunity to let God be God in us as we go forth doing our part to anchor a little bit more of good in our life and in our world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center as reflected in our mission statement, and I invite you to join in as we affirm it together. To transform lives as we love, serve, and remember. And we do so as we carry out these 5 universal principles to the best of our ability and know that they represent the key ideas that we believe in. Again, let us say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God. We must take action. And one action today is to acknowledge those who maybe have been born in the month of May. Any May birthdays? If you like to stand, we'll acknowledge you and sing you the birthday song.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
A big thank you for Shirley Brown for the beautiful flowers on our altar today. Thank you, Shirley.
And today we want to acknowledge that, remind you that we're hosting an interfaith unity prayer for Ukraine that's going to take place on May the 4th. And we're going to hold the high watch not only for Ukraine but Russia, but also the entire world to be able to see the world that we want to have when we are at our highest and our best. So we invited a number of leaders from different faith traditions to join us, and we look forward to a diverse and deeply community spiritual experience. And so we will be there engaging in prayer. We'll have some music and candle lighting and just coming together to hold the high watch for our world community.
And I just want to remind you that the Raising Our Social Consciousness book club that has been on hiatus is coming back this Friday. They begin a new book called We Are Everywhere. They will be meeting from 10 to 11:30 a.m. You can find all the details on our website, and you can also go there to register for the class.
And just a reminder, our yearly annual meeting will be taking place on Sunday, May the 22nd, between 1 and 2:30 p.m. And this is an opportunity for us just to share what our previous year has been, where we are, where we're going, and most importantly, we will be electing the new board of trustees to the vacant positions here at our center. And all those who are governing members are invited to be there or on Zoom, I believe, to vote. And anyone can attend to hear what we are doing here at Spiritual Life Center and where we are.
And each month we honor our community giving committee, or our community giving recipient. And today we have Kathy Kilgard to introduce this month's the May recipient.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here and happy to be a member of Spiritual Life Center's Community Giving Partners Committee. For the organizations that have been selected this year, you can find their information out on the wall in the lobby. And right now, we are currently taking nominations from our church community for our 2023 year of giving. So you can go onto SLC's website and fill out a form, or you can speak to any of us on the committee for details. But right now, today, I'm pleased to introduce our May 2022 Community Giving Partner, and that is the National Alliance on Mental Illness Sacramento, otherwise known as Nami. Nami Sacramento is a grassroots organization that provides a community of support, education, resources, and outreach activities to families, friends, and persons with mental illness, and to improve the general welfare and to reduce the stigma of mental illness. So at this time, please give a warm welcome to Diane Mintz, who is a board member of NAMI Sacramento, who will tell us more.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate this, and to be acknowledged on May 1st, Mental Health Month, is very special. And also the week before our biggest fundraiser, the Nami Walk, which will be next Saturday, I invite you all to come out and learn even more about mental illness and see that it does not discriminate. There are people from every walk of life there, all helping and encouraging each other. We've had to do it virtually the last 2 years, so it's really wonderful that we can all be together at William Land Park on Saturday. I have information out on the table. I invite you all. And just to highlight a couple of the many services that NAMI provides and that your support will go towards. All of our services are free to anyone who wants to call and sign up or register online. What's unique about NAMI is that we do services for family members who have someone dealing with mental illness, and that is such a great support for the person who is struggling. Family to Family is a 6-week education program. We do it online now, so it is just fabulous. There's a group on Facebook called NAMI Saved My Life because of this program. Also a family support group that just is facilitated by another family member, so you can just click and join people to connect with. The same programs are offered for people with the mental illness, and a connection group for them as well. So I invite you all to check out NAMI. You don't have to be a member to be a part of any of the services that NAMI provides, but if you would like to be a member, we have information on that as well for a low annual cost to support the services. You'll also be provided regular bulletins and things on what is happening, new things that are going on with mental health and medications and activities, just to stay connected. And we've worked really hard to kind of eradicate stigma, but we want to elevate it to an even higher level and make mental illness a casserole illness, which I mean, we do that for each other, right? When anybody has a physical illness, we show up with casseroles, because I know we're the hands and feet that go out and do that. We want to do that with mental illness as well, and just make it like we would support somebody who just had cancer, to make it that normal. So I thank you all for this, and we will be doing our best to help our community thanks to your help. Thank you.
And remember, we have many more things going on, so you can go out to the courtyard, look at the bulletin board, see what's going on there. Of course, talk to the ladies at the hub, and anything that you could possibly want to know about SLC is on our website.
And at this time, I invite any of our chaplains that are present this morning, as well as any of our board of trustees that are present. The chaplains are always wearing the elegant white stoles and are available to pray with you immediately after the service. So if you're going through any challenge or just want to celebrate something, they're there to help you get through that challenge or simply leverage up the joy that you're experiencing in your life. And we thank them for the consciousness that they bring and the work that they do for Spiritual Life Center. And we have several of our board of trustees that are here this morning, and they do a lot of work behind the scenes, and they bring their time, their talent, and their whole consciousness to help us move forward as a community, and they have a lot that they do, and we appreciate them giving all of their energy to the betterment of our community, and they're available to answer questions if you have any questions you'd like to ask of our Board of Trustee members. So thank you for your service to our community.
And we love to welcome our newcomers. So in a moment, we will ask you to raise your hand. But first, we want you to know that there are many ways to become connected at SLC. And one of the ways to do that is fill out our welcome card. The welcome card is available online. You can go to our website, fill it out, and submit it, and we'll get back to you. Or if you're here in person, raise your hand, we'll bring you the card, fill it out, and take it out to the welcome table where there is a warm welcome and a very special gift for you.
So at that time, any first-timers here today, if you would like to raise your hand, yes, keep your hand up nice and high. Thanks so much for your presence here this morning. And just know that you can wear that purple ribbon and get that special Spiritual Life Center greeting. And we support you and affirm you on your path as you continue to grow, develop, and unfold. And we thank you for your presence, and we appreciate the divine love that you bring to our community here today. Now with that, we can acknowledge any of our newcomers that are here and also acknowledge each other in a way that feels comfortable for you. Just say, glad you are here. You are marvelous.
You to stay standing and join us in singing our group song, I'm Reaching Out by Daniel Namad. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out. Forever is already mine. Are you ready to help? We are a social group. That's good. That's a good thing. All right. Well, I'm going to get started. Please join me. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. I'm going deep to know the divine. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm rising up to feel the infinite. I'm rising up to know the divine. I'm rising up to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. Give yourselves a hand. Please be seated.
And now, as we move into the contemplative part of our service, let's take a moment to embody the meaning and feeling of our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
And now, in preparation for meditation, I invite you to take a nice deep breath and settle into your chair. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the Please join me in singing. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart, I am the hands. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the heart, you are the hands. We We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the heart, we are the hands. We're a blessing to the world. We're a blessing to the world.
As we move into this time, take a deep breath and exhale slowly. Allow your body to relax. With each breath, drop your shoulders. Relax your eyelids. Inhale gently, exhale gently. And allow yourself to drift into a light daydream where a soft mist surrounds you and lifts you up and up until your consciousness floats free and you begin to see and sense another more ethereal realm. Here, the mist vibrates and sparkles. Points of light wink in and out, and it seems as if they revolve around you. And as you watch and feel this active mist, one of the winking lights approaches you and expands into a brilliantly colored ball. Other winking lights approach, each one expanding into a brilliant ball of light, each one taking on a different color. You are encircled by pulsing, brilliantly colored orbs. They are silent, yet they are very vibrant and active. As you watch the light show, you hear a soft voice murmuring. and your aspect is integral to the whole. And so as you take a breath or two and begin to return to your physical body, receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, everything is an aspect of the whole. The whole cannot do without any of its aspects. You are a holy part of the whole, and you are called to do your part. What you do matters. It matters to you. It matters to others. It matters to the universe. When you answer your call, the angels sing. Remember this, always.
I am listening to the call of the universe, beckoning me to make my way home. I am opening to infinite divinity ever within me. I am not alone. I am listening to the call of the universe, beckoning me to make my way home. I am opening to infinite divinity ever within me. I am not alone. As the pull of the sun urges the blossom to come forth, I am that I am. As the ocean in a wave unceasing breaks upon the shore, I am that I am. As the archer bends the bow and gently lets the arrow go, I am that I am. As a beacon shining out from within the lighthouse glows, I am that I am. Oh, I am listening to the call of the universe, beckoning me to make my way home. I am opening to infinite divinity ever within me. I am not alone. As the spring of living water deep within a well renews, I am that I am. As a symphony in one chord draws everything in tune, I am that I am. As a weather vane points in the direction of the wind, I am that I am. As a deeper dimension that expresses from within, I am that I am. Oh, I am. dreams of breaking free. I am that I am. As the silence in the thunder reminds me to release, I am that I am. As the sweet relenting emptiness fills me to the brim, I am that I am. As the ultimate ending from which we all begin, I am that I am. I am. Paula Mandela. That was fun to do it without her here.
Thank you for that wonderful, again, rendition of Paula's song, I Am That I Am. You know, as I mentioned earlier, that, you know, that song seems to have so many layers of meaning, at least from my perspective, and I know that art sometimes is in the eye of the beholder, so this is my perspective, is that what it represented, among other things, is that the I am that means that we're also connected with everything around us on some spiritual level, some soul level, that we are all inherently intertwined with one another. But also the I am is also another name for the presence that we call God. And then whenever we use the I am, it is unique to us, because whatever we attach to our I am becomes our experience. So, I am that I am. I mentioned that my brother, who is actually a practicing Muslim, but really likes the principles of unity, sometimes contacts me because he's a long-distance truck driver. And I remember he called me a while back. And he often asked me a number of questions, spiritual questions, philosophical questions, that he apparently ponders as he's driving through the different towns and across the state lines. And he said to me one time that when he was traveling through the different states, he would read various plaques that contain maybe the brief history of that community or some major event that took place. And he said he noticed a pattern, that many of the messages commemorated the battles, the conflicts between people or war heroes, and how people may have prevailed over others. And after sharing his observation and apparently seeing this pattern over and over again, he asked me, will people ever stop warring and fighting with each other? Will humanity ever rise above this way of being in the world? My immediate reaction was more like Scooby-Doo. I don't know. But apparently, he spends time pondering these things and asking these kinds of questions. And he wanted to know what my answers might be. And of course, I said, well, I'm no predictor of the future of humanity. But I did say to him that we have yet to write what our destiny is going to be. Because the choices that we make, whether it's individually or collectively, will determine what our future will be. There's a statement in Jeremiah, the 29th chapter, 11th verse. And it's really the consciousness of this presence we call God speaking to humanity that I believe says that I know the thoughts I think toward you. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future, to give you hope. In some phrases or some translation, it says to give you an expected end, to give you something good. I believe this is the call from the Spirit of the living God. A call that's forever expressing itself. And we are here to answer that call. It is a call from our tomorrow. It's beckoning us to birth a new humanity, to birth a new world, to birth a new state of being. And I believe it's calling you and me and all of us literally to create that new world and a whole new way of being on the planet. It's kind of like the oak tree shouting back to the acorn, "Wake up, I am you." That is the acorn's future. And it's shouting it to that acorn that this is where you're heading. As I was speaking about waking up with someone once, they said, I want to pass on. I want to die like my great-great-grandmother. I want to die in my sleep like she did, but not like all the other people who were screaming as she was driving. It may take a while to crypt that up. I know I got a weird sense of humor. But I say that to say this. Sometimes we may be asleep at the wheel of our life, forgetting there's a great call for us. So we want to wake up, as the Buddha was asked, who are you? And the Buddha said, I am awake. So we want to wake up to the true essence of our life and hear the call for our tomorrow, realizing that our tomorrow is really nothing more than God's today. You may be feeling familiar with the movie that came out many years ago. Kevin Costner was in it. It was entitled The Field of Dreams. And the basic plot was that there was an Iowa farmer. And he had this farm, and while he was on the farm, he heard this mysterious voice. And the mysterious voice said, if you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come. And it was instructing him to turn his farm, his cornfields, into a baseball field, with the idea that he would attract these old-timer or really good baseball players from times before him. And it didn't make any sense to him. But he decided to act upon that voice. And people who were seeing him do that, turn over his farm and create this baseball field in the middle of nowhere, they were taunting him. And they said he was nuts, that he was just engaged in lunacy. But eventually he did, and then, the people did show up, and it created crowds of people that came from miles around to watch this phenomenon. Part of it is he reconciled with his own father in this experience. There was a lot of stories within the story. But the whole idea is that he answered his call in that particular instance. I think this call is really the rhythm of tomorrow. It is a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a sound, it's a whisper, it's a voice. And if we but lowly listen and be still to that inner ear, and we practice the spiritual principles that govern this great universe, we will catch a vision and feel that voice and hear that voice within our own heart. And we'll begin to hear the rhythm of our tomorrow that is pulling us right now. As I also said in the past, that I was not always a minister, and it was not something that I intended to do at all in my life. But I, reached some low points in my life, and somehow got guided to this work that helped transform my experience. And I thought I was going to be using all of these principles to kind of put me back on track to do what I was doing, and practicing the law, or working in this corporation I was part of. But then I began to get this idea, this vision kept coming up in my head, me being a minister? And I said, and I would say no. I mean, it actually came up like every single day for a year. And it would say, and I say no. Then finally I said, hell no. Because I was saying, as I said, earlier that, I couldn't see myself doing something like that. I said, I'm too cool to be a minister. But then I realized it wasn't really cool enough once I realized what was involved, But then eventually I did succumb and I did go in this direction. But it was a voice or a feeling to go in this direction, which is totally contrary to what my mind was coming up. And I think in some ways we may not have something that dramatic in our life that is calling us to do something or go in a certain direction. But we all have those calls come to us. But to answer that call sometimes is a challenge because it takes a spiritual skill and insight, a way of being in order to connect with it. We have all heard this phrase that says, all are called, but few are chosen. Well, we know the inner meaning of that because God is not an exclusionist. He doesn't exclude anybody. It's not that few are chosen, but rather few actually decide to choose to answer the call for their life because maybe they're listening to society, listening to their parents, listening to what people have told them what they should do in their life. And so rather than choosing for themselves and answering the call that's unique to them, they're following the call of the world. I thought about that, as sometimes I talk with my son and, there's this great phenomenon, going about now called the Great Resignation. After the pandemic, people are leaving jobs that they hate. They said, I don't have to go back to that job anymore. I can do something totally different. And I was speaking with my son and he was saying, well, probably there's also the great, I'm never going to even apply to something like that. And I think it's particularly true for today's emerging generation because they have so many different choices on how they can live their life. They can follow their heart, still make a living. And they don't necessarily have to go out and do a certain thing because society has set it up that way, to go to work behind a cubicle, doing something they do not like, and go after strict materialism and doing something they don't connect with who they are. And I think that's because they're coming from a different place. They're much more aware of what's important to them. They make different choices, and I believe that choice is a function of awareness. We must be aware of the presence of God. We must be aware of the infinite possibilities and the goodness that's around us. We must be aware in order to choose. And that awareness happens when we enter that sacred center within us through our study, through our prayer, through our meditation, and no longer listen to the world and start listening to that still small voice that is always there urging us to go in a certain way. Our job is to do what we can to get in tune with this voice that will pull us to our tomorrow, to pull us to do something that maybe the world thinks is not right or lunatic, like the character in that movie, Field of Dreams. We're here to answer our own call. Now, we don't need to look outside of ourselves for the answer. The answer is already within us. We just need to release it, to release the inner splendor that is always there. And I think those strategies include going to that silence, that meditation, no longer judging ourselves or other people, engaging in forgiveness. Because these spiritual practices, I believe, begin to clear the field so we can hear and no longer be detracted or distracted by the static that is on the line. The static are those highly charged thought forms of the world, those unspiritualized voices in our head that prevent us from connecting to that place of infinite possibility. Many years ago, I was at a community. There was a man who was going through all kinds of challenges in his life. He was all out of sorts. And at this particular time, he had come because he was charged with burning down a house. Now, it was his own house. So I guess it wasn't quite that bad, but it was, his ex-wife was in it. But here's the good thing. She got out alive without a scratch. There was no problem. But he was very upset about the breakup that was taking place. And he thought the only thing that he could do to remedy it was burn down the house with her in it. And so, he was going through a lot of stuff. And so he began to practice these things of forgiveness and forgiving himself and forgiving his wife for what he thought she had done to him, and no longer judging himself or judging life. He began to practice the principles of lowly listening and seeking to get guidance in his life, and he was able to come to the other side. And at one point, he had gotten to the point where he, became a very productive person in his society. He became a teacher. And then after a certain point, even he and his wife spoke, which was a miracle in and of itself. He eventually became a teacher of the year. And he says he went through a process where he began to listen to some guidance that was telling him in a feeling, if not in words, there is more in you. To be more, express more of who and what you are. But without him doing what he had to do to get that static out of the way, he wouldn't have heard that voice. He wouldn't have been getting that guidance. I think the idea is this. When our line is not full of that static, we can hear the call. We can capture the inspired ideas that come from Spirit. Those static represent the fear, the doubt, the worry, the sense of separation. All of that is the static on the line. But when we root ourselves in spiritual practices like forgiveness and non-judgment and meditation and silence, we're rooting ourselves in the principle that the power and the presence and the love of God and the force is right where we are, and we no longer are caught up in the static. And we capture the essence of that statement. I know the thoughts I have toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And when that becomes the activity of our awareness, our lines become static free. We become rooted in the consciousness of the presence of God. And when we happen to do that, the world will shout out all of its names. It will shout out at us impossible, lack, limitation. Look at all the disease, the war, the bigotry, not enough to go around. You're not good enough. It will give us a name or a label for everything under the sun. But we will learn to stand still and listen and say, hold on. I got a bigger name on the line. I got a bigger name on the line. I can't talk to you right now. I can't recognize you. I can't give you my attention. I got a bigger name on the line. You can call it God, pure consciousness, infinite potential, great spirit, but it's calling me. I'm answering. I got to go. Talk to the hand, as I used to say. When we root ourselves in spiritual practice and the principle that this power and this word of God is all that there is, as that song says, I am that, I am all of that. And we allow that to move through us, our line becomes static free. And we will hear the guidance that is everywhere present. So when we pray, God doesn't suddenly say, oh, the prayer is right. Let me give him or her my guidance. No, when we are in the right awareness, the right consciousness, our spiritual practice of prayer, meditation, and silence and forgiveness simply opens us up to what is there all of the time. We begin to hear with new ears. We begin to see with new eyes, and something takes us over. And we no longer judge life merely from the surface or based upon what we can see with our eyesight only. Rather, we turn to that invisible something, that spiritual something. Now, something happens sometimes in our life. It may happen on the surface. It may look good. It may look bad. And maybe we haven't developed our spiritual consciousness, and therefore we react. We react on the surface level. We react maybe inappropriately. But we're not here to look at the surface and give it so much power. But we're here to look within that pure place within us, that presence of God that is always at work. There was a young man who was invited to a highfalutin dinner party. I guess all the big wigs were there. And they all came out dressed in all their regalia. They were wearing their tuxedos and evening gowns and dashikis. And I mean, it was just a dress-up day for the world. But he didn't come that way. He came in a T-shirt and jeans. They were clean, but, he felt comfortable that way. But we went out to the people out there, and nobody would give him the time of day. Nobody would talk to him or anything like that. So he decided to go home and dress up and get his most expensive clothes and, that he had. And he came back, and then all of a sudden everybody noticed him. They were coming up to him, hey, man, give me your card and have your people call my people. Let's work out some deals and stuff like that. And then they started to eat, and he decided, to do something very different than everybody else. He took his soup and he poured it in his lap. He took his salad and he wiped it on his chest. He took his bread and just crumbled it up and dropped it on his, his shoulder. And people were asking, what's wrong? What are you doing? And he said, well, I realized when I came here that you really didn't invite me. You invited my clothes. So I decided to feed my clothes. The whole idea of that story, to the extent there is an idea behind the story, they did not meet him. They dealt with him on the surface. In life, sometimes we do the same thing. Something happens. An event takes place. And right away, we name it. And say it's terrible or this bad. Because we're not rooted in the unchanging presence. So we react. And we do something that stirs up the sense of separation based upon operating from the surface of life and have not stopped to deeply look enough. But when we begin to call out the power of the force and connect with that presence we call God, understanding it's within our own being, we place our attention on it, then this presence, what I call omniactive presence, reveals itself in ways that we had not even thought of up until that moment. Understand, as we answer our call to our own greatness, whatever it may be, it is not about our own might and power. It's not about overcoming the challenges on our own way of being. It's about releasing and letting go and giving it over to the divine presence that is always within us. For those who are familiar with silent unity, and I was in ministerial school, that was part of our training. We had to go and be on the phones and answer prayers for people who called in from all over the world. But we also had a service that we would do on a daily basis, and people would come into an auditorium, and they would have that service. And at the beginning of the service, they would say without fail that it is not I, but the Christ within that does the work. It is not I, it is the divine within, it is the power within, it's the spirit within us that really does the work. And it's a reminder to us, when we realize the truth, we can rest assured and relax in the flow of this presence and allow ourselves to be guided to see how we are to be directed so we can witness how the Spirit of God is going to show up in our life and in our world. There's a lot going on in our world, a lot going on in our country. Maybe there's a lot going on in your own life. And if we look at what's happening in the outside world, the media will have a particular slant on what's going on the planet right now. It'll tell us how bad it is. It'll tell us about the sense of separation that seems to be taking place between people and countries. When we get into the flow and move into realization that God is all that there is, that is, we're seeing things from a high point of view, we'll be reminded that everything that's going on according to what the news brings us been going on for a long time now. The fact is, I always say it's not news. The news is not new. You could probably call it the olds. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. We've been having wars and separation and seeming distance between people. It did not happen simply because it's now on the internet or on our news channels. These things have been going on since ancient time. And harking back to my brother's question, why is there fighting? Why is there wars? Well, we can say, well, let's go back to the time of the story of Cain and Abel. It's been going on since then. It's been part of our human experience for thousands of years now. But I believe that we're now in a different stage of consciousness, where we begin to listen and look for evidence of God's good, regardless of what it appears on the surface to be. We look for the guidance. And we'll see that all that's been being brought to the surface now is being brought for those of us who are holding the high watch. And we realize that every crisis, whether it's our own personal life, whether it's in our world, is an opportunity to see how God is going to show up. But we must listen, and we must answer the call of this presence. This is our charge. Because as we look at the world today, Spirit is telling us the world is looking for something new, a new perspective, a new energy, a new leadership, a new possibility of handling conflict, a new way of solving the issues on the planet and in our life. It is calling us to be that something new. The surface mind may be saying, oh, it can't be done. When we answer the call, people may talk about you, and they say, oh, they're crazy. Those people really believe that peace is possible on the planet. They sing their little peace song every week. You know, that we live in an abundant universe and we can have everyone's needs met. That we can actually believe that we can end disease and lack and limitation. That we can become aware of the spiritual nature and live in a violence-free world. Well, yes, we do. Yes, I do. Because with this God consciousness, all things are possible. You know, as we answer our call, we embrace a God-inspired vision for our life. And then we discover that the seeming problems that pop up, and they do pop up from time to time, is part of the experience, that they seem so big to us. Those things begin to dissolve. Because the message from the presence is that we are living in a world too small. The problems seem overwhelming because we need to expand our world, expand our ideas. And somebody told me if you want to deal with a challenging problem or a challenging idea, you must meet it with a bigger idea. So we don't ever worry about, how big our problems are. Let the problems tell us how big they are. We tell our problems how big our God is. And those problems begin to dissolve. They dissolve into the nothingness from which they have come. We created it, we can uncreate it. And I think this is what happens when we answer the call to our greatness, our call from our tomorrow. Because that call is being in absolute alignment with those who have come here to express who have they come here to be. Like that said, like that oak tree is saying to the acorn, come forth, this is who you are. And who we are is in alignment with the great visionaries that have blessed our lives and the planet. And we don't let anybody fool us. We are in league with those people who have big names, who have prophesied the great possibilities of the human experience, because all that they have, we have as well. So we stand in alignment with that vibration and frequency that they radiated. And as we do, we answer our call from our tomorrow. And we answer it from the perspective that is happening right now, today. That's what we do. Peace and blessings to you. Well, next week is Mother's Day, and we're going to talk about the divine mother that supports us, whether we have our mothers here or on the other side of the veil, or whether we even knew our mothers. We're going to talk about there's a mother presence that is here for us always, and we're talking about a love supreme. At this time, I invite those who are watching online, who want to support this community and spread this consciousness to as many people as possible. You can do so by donating to Spiritual Life Center with your gift. And you can do so by either texting SLC Love to 44321. Just type in 44321. text in the word SLC Love. It'll allow you to give in that way. Or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, and you can give in other ways, including by mail. And if you're online, if you want to help spread the word, just comment, like, subscribe, whatever is appropriate for the platform that you're watching us from. And we appreciate you and affirm you and know that we are all in this together. And for those who are present today, we just invite you to take your gift or your love offering and symbolically raise it to the heavens and know that you're in a flow that says what you give out comes back to you. So if you're giving, whether you're giving today or giving by mail or electronically on a regular basis, know that you are in that spiritual principle. And with that, let us join in as we affirm our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
There were times I was sure everything was gonna be alright. The sun would shine, the world would turn. No matter how I lived my life, never needed anyone's advice. Well, that was then. Today I'm thinking twice. I'm listening now. Time to get it right. Trying to figure it out somehow. Yes, I'm listening now. We got our own plan, our own way to ease the pain. We all find our own medicine, from mountain faith to Novocaine. Oh, stop the world and filter out the noise. But sooner or later, you gotta listen to that voice. I'm listening now. I'm listening now. It's time to get it right. Time to get it right. Trying to figure it out somehow. Figure it out somehow. Said I'm listening now. Listening now. Na 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 na. Oh yeah. Na 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 na. Oh yeah. There were times I was sure everything was gonna be alright. Oh, the sun would shine and the world would turn. No matter how I lived my life, love the answer, just like always said. Come on now, tell me something about love instead. Said I'm listening now. Time to get it right. Time to get it right. Trying to figure it out somehow. Figure it out now. I'm listening now. Said I'm listening now. I'm listening. Oh, time to get it right. I'm listening now. Yeah. Trying to figure it out somehow. Said I'm listening now. I'm listening now. Singing with no eyes. I'm listening. Come on. I'm hearing with no ears. I'm listening now. I'm listening now.
Listening now. Yes. Well, we take this moment to bless those who have given today to support this community, to provide a place for those who are on their way here, those who are already here, as we journey together to grow, develop, unfold to our very best we can be as expressions of the divine, to express our spiritual nature in our life and in our world. We also affirm all those who have left prayers in the prayer box. We recognize that all of us at some time or another have challenges in life. And there comes a point where we must release and let go and turn it over to that power greater than ourselves. And although we may not always know what the answer will be, we recognize that this presence always has the answer, even before we know what the question is or what the prayer request may be. Before there's that statement that says, before they call, I already have answered you. So we have positive expectation for that answer. And it may come from many different ways and in different ways. But we know that since God is on the field, it must be good for us in our growth, development, and unfoldment. And for this, we are grateful and thankful as we go forth doing our part to amplify and spread the all good in our world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. At this time, let us affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. And with that, let's join together as we sing our peace song.